अब मर्दों की आवाज उठाने के लिए I want to invite the next speaker for the spotlight talk. He's an MBBS, MD, DNB internal medicine doctor. He's the founder of Adrenaline Meded, a 3-time TEDx speaker, 4-time Wimbledon champion, जिसके 1 million following के लिए इनके followers इनके पैर दबा ले. He is none other than Dr. Vishal Gabale. Please come. Wimbledon भी जीता है भाई. Wimbledon.
Thank you. No, it's American Open, not Wimbledon. Hi everyone. Hi, myself, Dr. Vishal Gabale. First of all, kudos to all of you looking beautiful. Please share for yourself, please. And I would like to also say that sponsors Dental Guard and also Palak has done excellent work today to gather all of us over here and giving all of you to listen me the opportunity. I mean, I'm joking. So I would love to tell you my journey today, that how I went from 0 to 1 million. I mean, like 1 million is just a number. Please don't think like if someone is having 1 million type of followers that they are in like different sort of world or they have achieved something really, really great. What I feel that what impact you put on the society, that's what matters. So never feel low of yourself even if you have any amount of the followers. Now I have made a small PPT about how the journey went from 0 to 1 million, where I will be talking about the key 5 formulas, how I grew in this particular thing. But before starting, I have few questions for you. First, yeah, please. Which ones for changing? Continue. Alright, so I want to start with first a question to the audience. Like, what do you think about the content creation? I mean, how we define a content creator in one word? If you can have a mic to the audience, please. I would like to have some audience interaction as well. Like, if a name comes to you, I'll start with Pratimesh, please. If a name comes to you that someone is a content creator, how do we define that, like in just one word, how would you define that person? If someone is a content creator, a synonym word to them, I mean, like, how do you define that particular person in any word or in a line?
Rich, I would say.
Yeah, that's the, I think, byproduct for sure. But apart from that, anybody? Yeah, please, if you can hand over the mic. If we have any assistance over here on stage.
I would say a relatable storyteller.
That's one thing for sure. Anybody else? Yes, please.
Content creation is a digital resume?
Yeah, that's even better. We are getting better. Anybody else? I'm not getting the exact answer, which I wish. That's how the Viva also goes in the medical school.
Someone who's an extrovert?
That's little closer. It starts with an EX. Okay, I would say, let's see if you can get closer to that.
Someone who creates impact.
Yeah, I think that's the better, but let it be now. I'll just tell. I think the content creator is someone who experiments. More than that, the one who has the guts to go away from his comfort zone and experiment differently. In the other way, I would say that the content creator is a scientist. I mean, like, don't just go in the one way as a scientist who is just working in the labs or, publishing so many papers. For the content creator, your publication is your reel. And, that opens a lot of doors of opportunities, right? When you start making content, only one thing stops us is, first is ourselves, our own self. And the other thing is, someone around you might be worried about what friends will say, what people will say and all that stuff. So that's why we procrastinate this thing. So that's the first question, the first topic of my slide as well. So now let's start the presentation. Right, first a brief introduction about myself. Already the host has given the 4 titles of Wimbledon to me, so thanks to them. Right, so I started from a small town, that's Aurangabad, now it's Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. In Maharashtra, I did my MBBS over there. Now, growing up, I was not, that big in the big speaker, or I didn't have that exposure as well. So we used to live in small town. Only big thing was with me is my name. It's just Vishal. And if you just think about the literal name about Gabale, that was my last name, right? Okay, do anybody know what does Gabale means in Marathi? I don't know how I got this name inherently, but it's so catchy, right? Gabale. In Marathi is Gabaye, and in Hindi you can say it's Gabale. So that literally means someone who is really, really clumsy. That's the literal meaning of the Gabale. But I don't go with that last name. That's why I just made it initial VG. Alright, so let's start with VG journey. Now, since 1 year back, I started this help with VG thing. Initially, just like you, as I mentioned that the content creator is a scientist. I mean the one who likes to experiment different things. So I started with that journey. So if you feel like it right now, I don't have that courage that should I start experimenting stuff and all. I think the best way to start journey and to start experiment is when you at the earliest phase. Because once you get that particular reach of dedicated audience, you can try different things. So start early and try different things. So that's the small message. That's how I started. I started in a small setup. I've added few images also of my setup. You will just laugh at it. After that, I just grown out as a speaker. I had been invited to 3 TEDx speakers as well, multiple publications. I've been author also in 8-9 books, and also in AP Health World I have been ranked 4 in the emerging doctors list for sure, because I'm emerging one now. Now the most important thing is obviously I am a educator. I portrayed my image on the social media as an educator. I'm really an extrovert, as somebody mentioned that creator should be an extrovert. I used to love act. I had made movies in college days also, but what I feel what like maximum benefit is how you portray your image as a creator and how you show the world that you are this person, just recognize me by this name and that particular thing. Because you know, when you are in a circle of your friends, I mean when you are in a good own your comfort zone, you can do different things. But when you are at the social media, I mean the people are seeing you for the particular reason. It should be one particular reason for what people are showing. That's what we call as your niche. If you stick to the niche, that's the one way to gain respect. So apart from that, I have worked in the social campaigns as well. First of that is CPR India. I've added that video. We had visited multiple schools, even the Marine Drive, iconic Marine Drive of Mumbai. Apart from that, I'm also starting. I have also already started a foundation called as Doctors for All Foundation. The name itself for the Doctors for All Foundation came from like an instinct that not only doctors, I mean not only general public, even doctors need help. There are so many incidences that are happening around where doctors are literally stressed so much. So that's why we started this initiative, Doctors for All, which has like a free helpline for the doctors to contact if they are stressed out. We plan some parties in different cities where doctors can just engage, weekend getaways. We go to the different cities, have fun, even international trips. So that's what Doctors for All. Right now, so I think that's a brief introduction, which is not really a brief, but let it be. Now let's start with the core topic of today's discussion. So when we talk about the content, first thing, as I already mentioned, that you should start with some particular thing. The only demon that's stopping you is yourself, right? You keep on procrastinating stuff. So can anybody tell me like who has literally got this trouble while starting making content? कि यार मुझे perfect होना है तभी मैं चालू करेंगी यार, like I will start at some point, then like if I have this communication skills or I'll post these 5 videos. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So it becomes little relatable in that way, right? I think that's what exactly happened with me too. When I started making content, I was resident then. So when you are a resident, there are few eyeballs watching you constantly. Your professor, HODs, and the most fierce is your rivals. I mean your co-JR or co-workers. So when you're making a video and sitting in the room making those videos and you're publishing those videos and they are doing work, they literally lash out at you in public. I mean in front of HOD that sir, he is all into video making. He's not doing all the work. But yeah, I think as a content creator, this is the one thing that's really challenging for us to really address. I mean, okay, apart from that, that's what your goal should be clear, that why I want to make content creation. I mean, why I want to make content, why I need a digital presence, why I need to be a social guy. And that's because if you want to do personal branding, if you want an audience for which you can cater to, and if you really want to be an influencer. Influencer is not someone, like who is just dancing on Instagram. That's not bad at all. That can be a one niche if you are a dancer. But if you are a dancer, you can't rely on the people that they will listen to you apart from anything other than dancing, right? So that's where the influencer comes. The image of the influencer is in such a way, in every video you are making, there should be social impact or social cause that we are putting into. For example, when yesterday I created a video about one guy who was stammering while talking, okay? While telling his name also he was stammering. But while singing, he was absolutely amazing. So I just explained the mechanism, and at the last, I just told, hey guys, this is how you have to believe in these people also. You don't have to judge them. So in that way, you earned small niche respect. Okay, and that stays forever with you, and this audience becomes loyal to you. So that's what the message, and that's how the influencer should be. Coming to the next part is about this 5 steps formula, which I believe, and I have made it roughly. Okay, so the first is start now. Making content is not a big task. We all know that, right? Nowadays, there are all n number of the teleprompters are also available. You can just put in front of you. But what stops us is our own internal demon, and what topic I should pick, what niche I should pick, what will people say, and how many reels should I post. So has anybody faced this issue कि यार मुझे topic ही नहीं मिल रहा है, or they are just scared about the surrounding, or all of you are already have started, that's why you are here. But if anyone is not feeling like that कि यार मैंने तो start कर दिया, now how would I continue this? So I would just say that कि believe in yourself. In a longer run, nobody's gonna remember how we're in the early phase. It's all about how you portray yourself in the public. That's what matters. Second step is try and experiment. That's what I said, that the content creator should be one who is like a scientist, who tries different things. So when I started making content, there are so many things over there which was not working in my favor. Many of the other creators where I used to see that they're having 10,000 or 20,000 followers, 100k followers. What should I make? They're already making the content. And can I really match that? Can I really reach to that level? So that's how the thing started for me. But as I mentioned, you always keep on experimenting different stuff. I've added some examples for that as well. I'll show you that later. Third is how to pick your niche. Right now, so as I mentioned, niche should be something which will give you a 10 times more returns. Making content is something which will take you to the whole different level. For example, if you are acting in your content, you are opening the door for n number of the people, right? So if your video is getting, suppose 1 lakh views, you have 1 lakh opportunities, right? So that's what even the exponential, or rather than exponential, I will just say that there are infinite opportunities if you start making content, and if you are niche specific. That is the most important thing. If you are just creating a video about the dental health or oral health, the people watching that video, there are so many people on the Instagram who just like to listen about the dental health or oral health. So that's how you pick your niche. If someone is talking about in general health, so that again the audience broadens, but the respect narrows, because if you are not niche specific, you won't get that respect. So that's how I started. I started in making in education sector, and in the early phases, I would not just hesitate to say I started with general health awareness type videos, but which didn't work properly, because few of my friends who were already my followers knew that stuff, because they were all medical students and they already knew this. But when I started making educational videos, they used to love it. Because as a student, I always was someone who liked to make mnemonics and all that stuff. So I used to started and talking like that. So that's how I got a proper niche. And I think you also can find your niche in which particular field you have to work. That will give you multiple times returns. That's very, very important. Instagram should be looked with a serious mindset that I have to really grow from here and it can take me somewhere else. So that's how you pick your niche. Then fourth is be consistent. Now I'll just tell you the be consistent one formula. You might have seen so many Instagram pages where there is just one reel that has been posted n number of the times. You might have seen, right? Anybody have seen that kind of page? So there is one meme where the guy said, "Kal 9:30 baje aana. मैंने तुम्हारे लिए एक पास अरेंज किया है there's one meme, you must have, right? So this guy just posts one single thing every day at 6 p.m. And you won't believe he has 1 lakh plus followers. And every reels gets 1 million above and reach. So that's the power of the consistency. I don't suggest you for sure, because that won't help you to build the niche, that won't help you to monetize the stuff. But if you are someone who is really not consistent, I think consistency is one of the most important part in the Instagram journey. And the last, I mean, this is just an overview. I'm going to get in little deeper also, taking your time. And fifth is how to build your work beyond the content. So let's start. So first is this, start now. As I mentioned, action is the perfection. Action is always better than the perfection. You have to start at some point. It applies to your studies. It applies to any venture you want to go in, any new thing that you want to learn. Always action is better than the perfection. Then gradually you can develop the stuff. And even if you remember the Bill Gates, one of the quotes he had said, that the best thing to start something is right now, today. Okay, I mean like just now. And it resonates to me very well. I mean, I was someone who always seeked perfection before starting to make content or before starting to take some courses, educational courses and stuff. I always felt कि नहीं इसका पूरा एक वीडियो बना देंगे YouTube पे, a reference video, then we'll launch the course, or I will make the course details in proper and all the things I'll just describe, because people should feel it comfortable and fine. But no, that doesn't work. That takes like n number of the days. At one point, if you start, you gradually, depending on the people's doubts, you start to improvise certain things, and that really, really helps. So, small message at the start of the content is you should start however you are. Even like you don't have proper setup, I'll just show a few pictures of my setup. Yeah, so these are, just don't look at it. Okay, so this is how my setup was earlier. As you know, this is the jugaad that I've done. This is one tripod, this is one light, this is an iPad, and this is the stuff that I managed over in the early phases. And this is the stuff I had. I used to live in small 1 BHK in Bombay, I mean Navi Mumbai. I was at Navi Mumbai for my residency. And then that's how I started my journey. In the early phase, I got really bashed by my wife. I mean, like she used to say, Vishal, why are you wasting this time on social media? People are literally, doing their work, their residency, and they're really earning really well with that. Why don't you do some ICU duties? Why don't you do that? But to be honest, I was someone like who wants an easy way, or you can say smart access. That's what the personality was. And I think for all of us that applied. That's why we entered in this market. I mean, that doesn't mean that we should not do hard work. The content creation journey itself is something which requires a lot of hard work. But I think that helps us, and you're passionate about, then that's actually what worked for me as well. So this is how things started for me. Now the problem of procrastination, how to come over of that problem. So when I always said that you have to be really spontaneous when you start making any content. You, whatever resources you have, just 2 people are standing around you. I mean, that people, you just have to look around the content around you. I mean, like if you're working in the hospital, walking. So as a medico, I always look how the patient comes, the gait of the person, how the patient is looking, how the patient's hand movement is, how the patient is drifting, okay, how the patient's eyeballs movements are, how the patient's speech is there. So, this is like complete scanning of the patient. And that patient, I don't say that patient is your content, but for sure, every subject is your patient, either a doctor or a patient. So you have to have your vision like that. And that's how you can overcome the procrastination. I mean, like if you're getting 100 ideas, the main reason for the procrastination is you feel that I'm out of ideas and I don't know how I'll do this. But if you are scanning everyone around you, or if you want to grow synergistically, if you explain your ideas to them, like now, like if I say, Badameshki, like we will make a video after this. So he is also ready for that, right? So you have to look for the like-minded people. And when we go with them, I think you can definitely overcome the procrastination of making content and also of being consistent. So as I already explained, try to experiment different things. Many of you might have seen me doing some comic wala stuff, right? That Bimari Bazaar thing I do, or in a pharmacy I went and asking for the side effects. The pharmacy guy is giving me the correct drug. So the one drill, I'll just tell you an example. I just go to the pharmacy and I tell them, hey guys, I need liver damage, I need some gastric ulcer. Then he gives me a pantoprazole for that, or he gives me a paracetamol or analgesics like diclofenac for that. So these things. So that's called as purple cow therapy. Hey, so that purple cow therapy means that you have to spot out that something different. I mean, the people's eyeball could be stuck to you. Oh my God, what this guy is saying, is he insane or what? That's how the purple cow theory works. Even it's be followed by the Mr. Beast also. He also agrees with this. So that tells us कि आपको कुछ ना कुछ different करना है. And many of you might have experienced that, right? If you post something different, or if you post something from with the other person, or maybe something is new in your content, that really works and people find it fascinating. So that's the purple cow theory. That means, so if so many cows are walking by, and if some cow is like black, some is white, and if someone is there who is having purple color, definitely will spot that and will remember for your entire life. Oh, you know what? I just spotted a purple cow or thing. So that's how your content should be, and that's how you put to experiment, so you can grow for sure. Now, one more thing about the experiment I just wanted to add over here is always have the educational impact in your reels. That will give you the maximum followers, right? And at the end, obviously, the call to action, it has a really, really significant way. In all my reels, what I've seen, and that really, really works. Sometimes you might not get followers. So at that time, you have to again experiment. We'll see that what went wrong. You have to check at the insights, the Instagram insights, YouTube insights. Really, really helps in that way. What happened? Yeah. So as I was explaining, this is one of the video I've created. Would love to watch with all of us. So here I had experimented. I just watched one Marathi movie. I don't remember the name. So after felt that this is some real issue, right? The sewage workers actually suffer from lots of diseases like leptospirosis. There are so many conditions. Their health is actually not taken care of. And as a creator, as I mentioned, that if you had some social impact, you will be remembered and you will be respected. So not only for that, but it should also come your heart, because you have to work on field, right? So that's why I came up with this initiative. So please let's look at this thing. Can he play this? He cannot play? No issue. It's not available. Anyways, so here I just go and greet, as you can see over here, I go and greet the sewage workers over there. Obviously, these are not sewage workers, but these are class 4 workers, and I just tell them, thanks, we are ready for your work. And after doing that, different senses of the viewer actually gets activated. Their gratitude sense, their purple cow theory wala sense, right? They just spot out this guy is doing something great, something different, something strange. Definitely, let's watch it. And after watching that, as I explained, that at the end of the reel, there should be some social impact wala thing that earns you the respect, and that earns you the, that spot in his memory. Okay, this guy is doing some work. Right. Now, why experimenting works is obviously in the early phase, as I mentioned, experimenting agar karoge early phase mein, there's no doubt like you can get failed, and if some reel doesn't work, you can archive or you can delete it for sure. Okay, you can just access, like, I mean, many creators say, many people also say ki once you post, don't look at it. I will always say that once you post, don't look at it for 24 hours. Look at it for, after 24 hours, just go in your insights, watch how many likes, how many things are there, how much is the engagement. If you feel that this reel is not performing well for me, just delete it. You don't have, because I'm just telling why. Because people should not remember for your bad work. That's the simple thing, right? Even if some movies or some cinema is in the theater, if Salman Khan has made a certain movie, for example, Dabang 3 or something, okay, and people don't remember for him, right? That particular movie. People remember it from the Bajrangi Bhaijaan, because that stayed in cinemas for longer duration. So that's what I would suggest. If something doesn't work for you, analyze it and you can absolutely delete it. And that's how the experimenting works. It is low stakes and it has absolutely high benefit. If something works for you, definitely you can think of boosting it in the early phase of the Instagram bit. So this is, I already explained that how to find the perfect niche. The niche should be impact driven. The niche should be something which will give you an infinite number of the returns. That's how it should be. Either you are acting, either you are teaching. Because if you're teaching, there are n number of the students that are learning from you. And if you stay particular to one particular language, if you're teaching in Hindi, the only Hindi people you watch. So I'll always recommend you to start in English, or if you can, without any language. Instagram just narrows the audience on the basis of the language itself. So if you can just start with English, that will reach the wider audience. I mean, in the educational sector, if you want to reach the general public, then definitely you can start with the Hindi itself. So as I already explained, the power of the niche is that the depth should always be more than the breadth of your niche. It should have high impact. It should create that impact, and you should be respected for particular thing, and it should get a number of. So we have one more video over it, I guess. So this is how my setup right now it's looking. A proper educational setup, all these things. So that's the growth I actually acquired in the 1 year of the period. So I hope this video is also not seen. Now this is the thing. You have to be consistent. You have to be a next level of the consistency. I will just tell you one experience. So before one day of my wedding, I was posting some things on Instagram. I mean, I was not that curious about posting. I had some brand deals or something. So before one day of my wedding, we were just planning few stuff, and the content was scheduled. So that level of the consistency actually helps. I think Bhadrash will agree with me, right? This is how the graph actually works. So, initial phase stays like this. At this phase, it will stop. But if you be consistent, you will see gradually there is a growth if you stay consistent. And I think that really worked for me. So this is the power of the consistency. Efforts, if you take any efforts, that will give you power. And I think that's the most important thing. Coming to the last part, that how to build your worth. So if you have following of, let's say, 1 million, around 10 lakh people. As I mentioned, if your goal from the first day itself was to coming with a product, either educating them, either taking a seminar, either, taking some things like webinar or different niches are here. That should be clear, and that's how you can build your worth. So this is the 5-stage formula, what I believe. You can either take classes, launch different stuff, even start your practice, market your practice, and all these things work in that way. And first, and the last few slides are on how to build the worth that you are really, because after making content, you definitely that opens a lots of doors. People notice you, right? People call you for the events, people notice you. So I always believe that you have to be shameless while talking to people. I mean, you just go and talk to someone that I am this guy and I am doing this correct content. I would love to meet you. This is my card. And that's how you network with these people. You talk to them, you build your community around, and you can just obviously show off to your audience also that I met this guy, right? And that earns a different sort of respect. So now last few slides, the most important message I would say is to stay humble. Wherever you are, okay, wherever you go, even if you go like 10 million followers or 15 billion, 20 billion, so whatever the number is, the most important thing is to stay humble, because in the field there are obviously so many people who are not content creator, or they are nothing in this field of social media, but still their worth is much more than these people who are on social media. So whoever you're meeting, I mean, it's not a different thing. It's nothing to be said about, but some people who make the content at the early phase feel that like I've achieved something great right now. But they are in a shell. They don't know the reality of the world. A doctor or a practitioner earns like 100 times more than the content creator, and the journey of the content creator, it's a plateau at the certain phase and downfall occurs. I mean, downfall should not occur for anybody, but that's the reality. But for a doctor or for a practitioner, the growth curve stays going upwards and upwards and upwards. So as a content creator, stay humble. I would always say prioritize your practice, prioritize your work. Your work, your medical practice is the most important thing for you. And if you keep on doing that, I think that will give you more times returns than the content. But I will just tell that the content creation is a shortcut to be in the elite people. But after you go to that elite people, don't feel that I'm really big guy. You are hollow in your heart. You just have to work really, really hard and try to have a recurring revenue kind of setup, or you have to really establish your practice. Last few slides. So there's one more video over here. So this is about our CPR campaign. The last point is about the social impact, that how you can create the social impact here. I went to the government school because I feel they are the people who actually lack these facilities, like these regular health checkups and stuff. So we keep on doing this in different schools, and would love to associate with all of you as well for even oral health checkup and that campaign as well. So this is also facilitated by the Government of India. and it really helped us. So this is the last slide. You should have that long-term vision. Start with a vision. See the projectile for the next 5 years. That should be the thing when you start making content. And I think if you have that vision, you can really achieve anything. That's all for my time. Thank you so much for listening patiently. I hope that I really didn't bore. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vishal.
विशाल गबाले।
माधुरी क्या है इनका नाम?
सर आपको याददाश्त की कमी हो रही है?
नहीं सर, बहुत अच्छा बोले, समझ मुझे नहीं आया, बट वेरी नाइसली सेड. प्लीज पुट योर हैंड्स टुगेदर फॉर हिम.
समझ कैसे आता सर? सुनना भी चाहिए ना, आप तो वड़ा स्टॉल के बाहर खड़े थे.
मधु वड़ा.
ओके, सो can we please have Dr. Farzana on stage to kindly felicitate Dr. Vishal Gabale? Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause?